Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another old Nux Taku video I never got to check out back in the day. And we are watching him with AnimeUproar, so this will be a flash from the past, ranking every arc in Black Clover. And we're just going to get right into it. Oh, and check out my Etsy shop. My t-shirt's awesome.
Yo, what is happening, fan base, and welcome back to the second episode of Dissecting Every Arc in Blank. Today, Black Clover, with my buddy AnimeUproar,
Cool.
the only other anime YouTuber actually talking about Black Clover.
What up, guys? Happy to be here. I'm ready to dissect this anime as one would dissect the Great Moth from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Great Moth from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the worst thing Japan has ever created, but on a brighter note, steering far away from the Great Moth, which is one of the worst things ever created in history of humanity.
Okay.
Let's talk about some Black Clover.
Yay.
Let's do it!
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hype Animac too. He's
Black Clover's really good, man. So if you've not watched it, you need to check it.
So, in any case, we'll start with the first arc, since that makes sense, I think.
All
It's
right,
called
so we're doing it and then saying what they think about it.
Arc
Okay.
1, which is one of the most official names for a first arc in any shonen ever.
Correct, it is the most creative and best name that I've seen.
Yes.
I
Would you
mean,
like to tell me what you
yeah,
thought
so
of
Arc 1.
Yes, so I actually first saw this arc in the anime before I read the manga.
Big mistake.
No, I thought it was pretty good. Like, I know last year we were all talking about it and you were all laughing at me saying, oh, this guy's actually enjoying the Black Clover anime. But I thought it was fine. For a shonen arc, I liked Asta as a character. I didn't mind his screaming at all. And I thought
I got used to it. It's like, I think I've said this before, it's kind of like when you watch the Japanese version of Dragon Ball Z for the first time, after watching the dub, Goku's voice really does kind of throw you. But you get used to it after a while.
it was a very cool setup, and I loved his relationship to Yuno. Like, his rival was actually his friend, not like some douchey, evil guy
Yeah.
or money-hungry guy that wants to screw him over. They were like, we're friends and we'll help each other, but we still want to be the best.
Yeah,
so I
we
like
are
that.
both
It
gonna
reminds
be
me of
Wizard King.
me and you, Nux. So yeah, definitely on board.
Yeah, you know what else reminds me of our relationship? That you can manage to stand the screaming guy.
Yeah, I guess because you are the screaming guy.
Yes, that is how I am known in the Anime Uproar household.
Correct.
Right.
Well, I also definitely agree. I'm a huge fan of the rivalry between Asta and Yuno.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
really appreciate that these are two guys, they're two good guys, they have the same goal, and they each want to accomplish it, but at the same time, they're not trying to kill each other to win their little dick off.
Yeah, they would never screw each other over or anything like that. They are really, like, they're brothers, basically, aren't they? And they want to see each other do well, but still have that, use the rivalry to push each other forwards.
Yeah.
I don't know, I really appreciated that vibe. I mean, you got, like, Jonathan and Dio, Naruto and Sasuke,
Yeah.
Bakugo and Deku. They were all antagonistic towards each other.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
really nice to have a main duo who, despite the fact that they're apart for a large part of the show, which makes their meetings worth far more in the long run, I really like that they appreciate each other. That Yuno's a passive-aggressive asshole, which is more like me than you.
In most of the shonen anime, the rivals end up becoming more friendly with them eventually. Well, obviously not Dio, but, you know,
Yeah.
most shonen anime. But I like that in this one, from the get-go, they're friends, they're supporting each other, and it's a friendly rivalry.
So, as far as the first arc, and aside from the rivalry, because really it's set up nicely in the first arc, and it only grows in the future, but what else did you like about this first arc, which is approximately the first 13 episodes?
Yeah, so when I went into the anime,
It's a very easy setup as well, isn't it? Like, everyone can use magic, he can't. And then he has anti-magic. And it's like, ooh.
I was expecting it to be very cliche because I can understand why some people complained about Black Clover. It sounded like it's just copying a bunch of other anime. He wants to be the Wizard King rather than the Pirate King. He doesn't have magic like,
Deku doesn't have a quirk.
yeah, exactly. So, you know, I went in with not super high expectations, but I ended up, like I said, enjoying the characters. I ended up liking how they set up the world. And, you know, I would give it about a 7.5. I didn't think it was an amazing arc, but I thought it was
That's still quite high, though. 7.5 out of 10, still quite high.
definitely a solid arc, which I thought it was better than people were making it out to be.
So
Yeah.
I gave it a 7, even though I did like it, and I only saw the anime on the first arc of Black Clover, and I didn't read the manga until halfway through the second arc. But all in all, I do like how he was introduced to the guild. I liked how, after his entrance exam, no one wanted to accept him, even though he beat Baja Guy, which was going to be your role if I would have
Constantly
Oh,
just
ever
laughing.
win.
Uh-oh.
We didn't get to see who Yami really was. Noelle was still your typical tsundere, and she didn't do anything in the first arc. It was only later that she actually became an actual good character as far as Shonen Woman. But
Noelle's class. I like her character progression within Black Clover.
the first arc I would give a 7 out of 10. I was getting big time Naruto vibes, and I still enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was anywhere near as amazing as it later became.
Yeah, and I think that in that first arc, Asta and Yuno are the only two characters that we really get to know to a significant extent.
But I mean, I suppose that's intentional as well. It's how it should be, I feel. Like, if you have first story arc, make it focus on your main characters, slowly introduce more people, and then as you progress, you can give more people more screen time. Because we've established what these guys are about.
And while they're good characters, they're really great in the setting of the Black Clover world, which we didn't really see yet. So, yeah, I would give it a 7 out of 10, but I appreciate your score of 7.5. Anyway, arc number 2! We got the dungeon exploration arc.
Oh, mate, this is
Early
cool.
thoughts?
Yeah, I thought this was an interesting arc. One thing that Black Clover does well is that as the arcs go, they bring out the backstory of the different members of the Black Bulls.
Yeah.
In this one, I specifically remember Luck Voltia's backstory, and I thought that went...
I'm so happy you said that, because we really got lucked out with this arc. I'm a huge fan of Luck.
Yeah, it looks class. Always looking for a decent fight, man.
Yeah, so I really liked that arc. I liked how they set it up with Luck and with... they had the battles with the Diamond Kingdom, and at the same time, they were developing the characters. I thought...
Yeah, because it also introduces, it establishes, oh yeah, there are other kingdoms with other different, things and different types of magic and stuff, and people have gone through some bad stuff.
That was done really well. And I liked Mars. I liked, the whole concept of Mars and how he had to kill his best friend to pass the test, and
Wink,
it was like
wink.
a crazy thing. Yes, wink, wink. So I like this arc overall, and I like the concept of dungeons. It reminded me a lot of Magi, obviously, but
I've still not watched Magi
Yeah,
either.
I liked it as well. I feel like the way dungeons were introduced, it did give you another way to look at the world. Because I didn't see that coming at all. And I still am not precisely sure where dungeons fit in the scheme of the Black Clover world. Because if you include them, you basically have 3 antagonistic forces. You have the outside kingdoms, like the Diamond Kingdom, which was introduced this arc. We
Yeah.
have the inter-society issues, like, the Eye of the Midnight Sun, which wants to rebel and all that, and that's later. And we have these dungeons, which I don't really know where they come into play.
They don't really have much of a thing later on, though, these dungeons, do they? I don't think it was mainly about setting up the fact that there are dungeons there. I think it was just a location to have the story happen.
Yeah.
At that point, I did almost find it jarring, because I feel like, we're being introduced to society. This is what the Clover Kingdom's like. Okay, now we have enemies coming, and we have this whole dungeon that we're going... I didn't really know what was going on. All I knew was I was a huge fan of Luck. He's my favorite kind-hearted sociopath ever.
yeah, he's pretty great. And
Yeah.
I think the dungeons will come in later on in the story as the whole ancient magic stuff keeps being brought up, because the dungeons have rare ancient magic items and stuff like
Well,
that can be
you would need to read further in the manga, my friend, because we get to see some pretty wacky ancient magic with that's going on.
Oh, I don't feel like this is going to go to the end of the anime, is it? Oh.
Well, we're talking about the arcs of the anime Nux.
True, but you're predicting...
And where was it up to when they did this? Oh, it wouldn't have been over, would it? Or would it? Ooh.
Wrong. No offense.
All right, listen. I'm trying to make this an enjoyable experience for the listeners here who may not have read the manga. Nux.
Yeah, okay, fine, you're right. We can make up cool theories for anyone who hasn't read the manga. We'll only be covering the anime arcs, so that's the first 6 arcs. And if you
Okay.
like it, maybe we'll do a sequel and cover the manga
My
ones.
God.
Give Animax some enticement to read it.
Yes, I'm gonna.
I'm thinking of checking out the ranking every Naruto arc with Swagkage as well. I think that'd be cool. And there was another one on the list. I can't remember.
Get there very soon. I'm already beyond the anime and the manga, so I will be getting there very soon.
Very cool Animax.
Very cool indeed.
cool. But as far as this arc goes, I did like the dynamic between Asta and Yuno. Again, I know that we're bringing it up again as the high point for the arc. But them meeting after becoming wizards in their respective guilds, where their guildmates can respect each other, like you have that metal guy that respected Asta even though he had no magic and he was from common birth. I feel like that did well to show you a lot about what the society's about. It's about someone who's either a noble or has high mana stores that's on the top, and then you have your non-noble, non-high mana store guys on
It's a constant thing throughout the story as well, isn't it? Yeah.
the bottom of the totem pole, and that's really what Asta is and what Asta's trying to destroy about the society. We got introduced to that, and I would give the dungeon exploration arc a 7.5 out of 10.
Well, I think we forgot the most important thing about the dungeon exploration arc, and that is that we got
Tsundere
to-
Lolly Fairy Lady! You're
No.
right. Good call, Anime.
No, Mimosa. We got to see a love triangle between Mimosa and Noel and Asta.
Yeah, that's where it starts,
Mimosa's a
isn't
terrible character. Don't at me.
No, Mimosa is a good character. Don't be a dick.
Okay,
it?
whatever.
But no, I would give this also a 7.5, maybe close to an 8 even. I'm kind of split there.
All right. So, well, your indecisiveness aside, let's
Fair
move
enough.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arc number 3. We got the Royal Capital arc, which spanned from about episode
Oh,
20
mate.
to 28 in the anime. Any takeaway thoughts, Mr. Mac?
I love this arc. I thought this
This was
arc
sick.
was amazing.
I love this arc too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the arc that really got me to be like, yo, this show is good. This is a great series. I love
Consequences.
Fuegoleon,
People can get
obviously.
hurt.
Great character.
Fuego Leon, you know, because fuego is Spanish for fire.
I don't know. I prefer
Oh.
saying Fuegoleon, but Fuegoleon is also acceptable. Whatever you like.
Yeah, sure, okay. So I liked Fuego Leon. I love Chrono, the Wizard
Yeah,
King.
man.
He's an incredible character. Oh, both of those characters are amazing.
Yeah, Julius is an amazing character and very interesting character as well. I have to agree.
So even the arc just riding on those two characters alone is a classic arc. So before me telling you what I liked about this arc, for me it's a 9 out of 10.
I would
Wow.
give it an 8.5.
It hooked me instantly on the manga. I read the whole manga in one day.
Damn.
I basically started with this arc since I saw arc 1 and Dungeon Exploration, the anime, and then I decided, all right, let's try it. And the Royal Capital arc completely hooked me. I feel like we got to learn about all the magic captains in this arc. We got to learn about the entirety of how society is running. Not
Yep.
the outskirts of society per se, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the inner working of the heart of society, which is the Magic King, which is the captains, how they regarded each other, how they looked down on Asta instantaneously, just like we've come to learn from Metal Dude in the last arc, and how Asta manages to exceed all their expectations, with Fuegoleon's epic line being weak is nothing to be ashamed of, but staying weak is.
Yeah, I like that line as well. I remember seeing that, just being like, oh, damn, okay.
Such a powerful line,
Yeah.
and it resonates in every single moment of the anime, because you have characters like Finral or whatever who are always considered weak throughout their entire narratives, and then they realize, I'm not going to stay weak, and that's what becomes strength.
Yeah,
So,
and
dicks
he actually
out to Fuegoleon.
he
He
specifically
is
says this to
cool.
Noel, and it very much applies to Noel, like right in a big way. So again, great world building in this one. Fuegoleon
Establishes a
and
lot,
Julius.
doesn't it? We get a lot of relationships and stuff, and we get like inner thoughts and thinkings of certain individuals, and that like it's yeah. We get more of the guilds and stuff. Yeah, it's a cool arc.
Great characters. We learned a lot about the different captains, the society. 8.5 for me.
Yeah. Again, still 9 for me, because after we get to see what Fuegoleon can do, and he teaches you that even though my magic is nothing against Jerry, or whatever that guy's undead corpse's name was, he still shows you how he can, even with less magic, take it out, because you have to analyze the situation, and it's not all about pure brute strength. And then a moment after we see how badass this guy is, he gets teleported away to fight their leader, and then he gets teleported back, completely
Missing an
knocked out,
arm.
missing an arm.
Yeah.
And that was how his character was introduced and snuffed out, seemingly, in one arc, in one moment, with his final words ringing in our heads. It was an amazing way to hype up the villain organization.
Yeah.
It was an amazing way to get our hearts more in tune to Black Clover.
Yeah, like you build up these captains to be like absolutely, well, pinnacle, and then you have one of them just thrown down, missing an arm. It establishes that the enemy is nothing to be scoffed at, doesn't it?
Itself, and then the arc's ending with Chrono saving Asta, who is kidnapped by basically time magicking the hell out of all of the bad guys at the same time, showing how badass he was. Also, again, went to show you the power ceiling that, yeah, getting to become the Wizard King ain't gonna be easy.
Yeah, no, it was great. I also loved how they introduced Fuegoleon as this big shot, really strong captain, and then instantly he's crushed, which obviously in your mind you're like, oh man, this villain must be
That's exactly
super
what I'm talking
powerful.
about. Yeah, it's
And
a good
then
way of saying it
Julius
out.
comes, to the rescue and really shows off his strength. So yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, and also how this bad guy, who only has one spell, he has that one zombie spell, and the other guy has that teleportation thing. They work together, and they basically screw up the entire capital with 2 basic spells.
Yeah.
I mean, they teleport away all the captains, and then they have this undead army attack. I don't know, I thought it was really great planning on the villain side of things, and going to show that it's not just nobility, because they're anti-nobility as well.
Can we also give some props to Charmy for saving the day?
Oh yes, massive props to Charmy. I was charmed. But yeah, we also get to see a little bit of a interesting dichotomy begin between Asta and the villains, because the one thing Asta hates about society, which is how they put down people that are not of noble birth and people with low mana stores or without varieties of spells or whatever, that's exactly what Zombie Guy was trying to push as well. He was also saying, I hate society for the exact same reasons that Asta did,
approach.
but he, who lived his life as an outcast and became a rebel, unlike Asta, who's trying to fix it from the inside, becoming the Wizard King, got to show an interesting dynamic between the villains and heroes. Again, Royal Capital Arc for me is my highlight of the show so far, 9 out of 10. Moving on, we got the Eye of the Midnight Sun arc. Anime, take it away.
Yeah, this arc is definitely interesting. We got another backstory for this one. We got Ghosh's backstory.
Yeah, Ghosh, man.
Correct. Very creepy dude.
I didn't like the whole sister relationship thing. It's just so over the top. It was the one thing that made me uncomfortable, man.
Very creepy dude, but very cool magic that he has. The mirror magic stuff, I was impressed with that. Again, in this arc, I really saw how in Black Clover, combining magic can lead to really cool battles. Really cool magical battles where...
Yeah, that's always cool one. It's like you get two people team up and then they figure a way of like intertwining their attacks, and it's like, oh wow, okay.
Your different people are coming together, combining their magic in order to be stronger, whereas on their own, they would not stand a chance. So there's a lot of strategy there and teamwork, which is not always the case in shonen, so props on that.
100%. For me, the Eye of the Midnight Sun arc did 3 major things. I would say it introduced Ghosh's character and got us really to fall in love with the Black Bulls altogether. We got to see that Yami's interest in selecting members are people with potential as opposed to people that fall into society's understanding of what is good and what isn't.
Such a
so
ragtag
Ghosh, who's
team.
a total nutcase, has the potential to become someone really special. So Yami included him. It got us to know a lot about Yami's character through that as well when he came to fight Licht with his black magic versus Licht's light magic. Also, stellar fight. And honestly, Yami, who's probably one of the fan favorites of the entire series, and one of my favorites, of course, is a really incredible character. Like, Licht starts making fun of him by explaining his own epic backstory and why he started the whole Eye of the Midnight Sun, and then you got Yami says, well, my backstory was, I was born in Japan, and I came here and whatever, they all treated me like scum, so I became the strongest, beat the heck out of all of them, and they worshipped me. And Licht's like, okay, so what does that pertain to our current situation? He's like, nothing. You told me your backstory, so I wanted to tell you mine.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Yami.
Yeah,
Yami's
Yami
sick.
is an amazing character.
It's just like, just go beyond your limits. This is the moment you're meant to break your limits now and all that. It's just like, oh, cool. He's very like, it's kind of fourth wall breaking with the anime tropes.
Maybe my favorite character. It's probably between him and Asta for me, but I definitely love him. And I love how he basically takes these outcasts, helps them, sets them on the right path, and turns them into the Black Bulls. And this is why the Black Bulls, honestly, I think are, some of the best cast of main characters that I've seen in any anime. Like, I love these guys.
Yeah, same here. And you get
Black
to
Bulls
see
are
really where
fun,
Yami's coming from through this arc. Like, he has Finral as his personal teleportation guy. He's
He
like,
calls him his
I don't
ride.
really need you. I just have you here to get me places faster. It's so Yami's type to say that, but it's also
doesn't
so
mean
Yami's type to let Finral think that until Finral can become his own person. Like, Yami guides everyone to surpass their limits with doing as little as possible. Like, he teaches Asta Ki in the most low-key, get it, way possible.
Which makes sense, right? Because he is letting people learn on their own, and when they learn on their own, that's when they're going to learn the best, rather than having someone lecture you in class or something and make you memorize things, which we all know, having gone through school, is super boring and you forget it the next day.
Which is why Yami is a greater senpai, sort of, than like Orumaidu, in my opinion.
Yes, I think you mean sensei.
I do, you're right. Oh my god.
Sensei.
This arc also introduced the battle system of Black Clover, which is one of my favorite battle systems ever. In fact, it's my 3rd favorite battle system ever. We got to see how someone gets stronger with their magic powers and how their grimoire learns new spells and how it's purely based on character development. Like, for example, we got Ghosh. Ghosh had the worst backstory ever. Okay, he didn't. That was very much of a exaggeration on my part to make the next part sound epic. But Doge had the worst backstory ever. He loved his sister, so he was locked in jail. How terribly sad. Anyway, so Yami took him out of jail, and he went through his life never trusting anyone, never wanting anyone to get close to him, because that in turn would make them close to his sister, which he didn't want. He's overprotective in not a sexual way at all. But through learning to trust others and to trust Asta, he got a new page in his grimoire where now he can make perfect clones of his allies and not just himself.
Yeah. And Asta's gonna end up marrying his sister, which is gonna suck for him.
No, that's just not gonna happen. That's just not gonna happen.
But that is just the way things go.
Yeah, that would be something. Oh man, his sister just did something in the manga and it was so epic, but I'm not gonna tell you because that's
Okay, cool. I'll wait to find out. But one thing that we didn't bring up yet from this Midnight Sun arc is perhaps the best part, and that is, of course, Sally. One thing Gozen pointed out, and I agree with him, she's like a mixture of Toga and Mei from Boku no Hero.
I hear that. I really hear that. That's solid.
Yeah, she's like a psycho, yandere, mad scientist, all rolled into one. And she
Yeah.
definitely has some cool fan service pics in the manga that I was like,
And not gonna lie, in the recent arc of the manga, just like 3 chapters ago, she did something so damn cool! You know how you always praise the current arc of the Seven Deadly Sins manga? How everything's like coming together in this massive battle?
Yes, I do.
Not gonna lie, it's got nothing on what's going on right now in Black Clover.
Damn, take that.
Okay, well then, that is high praise. I really have to finish the manga. We'll do it soon, and then we can do a part 2 to this video.
God, I wish the anime for Seven Deadly Sins was alright, like, because I really did drop that, like, quite quick. And I hear good things about Seven Deadly Sins manga. Maybe I should just check out loads of different mangas, man, you know what I mean? But I just don't have the money. But then there's the internet.
If the people like it, please like us. Please, we want to
Please
do a part
slap
2.
a like, 3.5 likes, and Animac will finish the manga and we'll do a part 2. But,
Yes.
by the way, when I say I like it more than the current arc of the Seven Deadly Sins, it's because I prefer the Seven Deadly Sins overall to Black Clover because of the psychology of the characters for the most part. I feel like
Yeah.
the characters in Seven Deadly Sins are far more ingrained to the theme of the story, and therefore I feel more towards them than Black Clover. But, as far as the fights go, Black Clover's top tier. It really is.
Yes. So I think that the Seven Deadly
I do like the fights in Black Clover, and the fights are absolutely boss.
Sins and Black Clover both have an amazing cast of characters with great backstories, and these two I would really single out as doing it amazingly well. Whereas, as much as I love Attack on Titan and Boku no Hero, they can't compare in that aspect, in my opinion, in terms of the interesting characters and how they kind of mesh with each other.
Yeah, I would agree on that. So I would give the Eye of the Midnight Sun arc, which, by the way, introduced the Eye of the Midnight Sun, which we didn't really talk about, and also introduced a bunch of the Captains to fight the Eye of the Midnight Sun, which we didn't really talk about. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10.
I would also give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Hype. But as far as the other captains go, just getting introduced to the guy with the coolest ponytail coming out of his bangs, which, I don't know, that should be illegal. But it is, and he says that my rival Fuegoleon would never lose to someone as lame as you, basically. I don't know, it was a throwaway line that I really loved, because it got to show that the captains have dynamics against each other
Yeah.
in past generation as well. Like, they were also gunning to become the Wizard Kings. I don't know, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, Nozel Silva, Noel's brother, is the one that does this, and I thought it was cool because up until this point, he's like this elitist, nobles are better than common
Yeah, definitely
peasants,
voices that,
douche
yeah.
guy who's mean to Noel because she isn't as powerful. And then he actually ends up having some character development where he's like, no, you can't measure up to Fuegoleon. Like, he actually
his rival,
supports
yeah,
him.
yeah.
And then when his brother is like, oh, look, he got defeated, he's like, don't you dare. You wouldn't have lasted a second out there. I'm paraphrasing.
Yes.
But yeah, I thought that was
Yes.
cool. Good on Nozel.
Yeah,
And
man.
also that girl that's there that says that all men are petty and not worthy of women, and she's meanwhile in love with Yami.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Charlotte,
Charlotte
yeah,
is
she's
the
class.
captain of the Rose, and she is the one that uses Briar magic, and she is in love with Yami, but she doesn't admit
It's
it.
hilarious.
Yeah, and
It's
then
always great
her,
whenever he says anything
The
to her, she's
member
like,
of her.
That's the best ship in the entire show, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting, but and Yami's a badass. But like right now, the best ship for me is me and Vanessa.
Why? You didn't read the manga. You don't know Mereoleona. She is best girl in all of Shonen. So Whatever.
I can't
Baller.
handle her. I think I can handle Vanessa.
Okay, sure, whatever you say, man. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10 from both of us. Eye of the Midnight Sun arc introduced us to the battle system of Black Clover, and Yami versus
Yami,
Lit
man.
is probably my favorite
So
fight
good.
of 2018.
It was great.
Okay.
2018.
Next arc, we got the Seabed Temple arc, which spanned from about episode 40 to episode 50.
Yeah,
This
and
was alright.
really interesting because it starts
It's the fight though at near the end that's just absolutely peak.
off very lighthearted and very much like there's a beach episode. It's all like, okay, so this is gonna be a filler arc type thing. But then once they
no.
get into the temple, shit goes down, and I really liked how that escalated.
Right, so for me, there were two components to this arc that actually made it great. The first component was they all go into the Seabed Temple thing, and they all have like these terribly low ranks as far as Magic Knights go, because they're like troublemakers that never really adhere to do anything properly. And they're all just sitting there together, and the leader of the underwater people are like, okay, if you can beat my underlings in this little tournament,
Yeah, and then it just like,
then I will
okay.
give you the stone of which you desire. And then Yami's like, okay, my guys will take them on, and he's like thinking to himself with this ultimate evil dialogue. Little do they know, they're a far lower rank than my men. And meanwhile, they're just low rank because they're like assholes. But they
Yeah.
destroy all the Seabed guys in like 2 panels in
Yeah.
the manga. They
Oh,
lose
right,
like
okay.
half their guys.
Sadly, the only one that actually lost was Charmy.
Yeah, I know. Charmy's like the strongest wizard ever, though.
Charmy was put to sleep, and she actually lost, and everyone else.
Charmy
took
gets
their
so freaking powerful later with that like technique that she learns with the weird frying pan thing.
opponents.
Yeah, and then Veto came.
Yeah, and that's when it really went down.
Because Veto pops in taking down the underwater guy's top dude. And he's one of the generals from the Eye of the Midnight Sun. We get to finally see what he can do.
Yes,
And he
we
can
also
do a lot.
Yes.
yeah, but we also get to see so much great teamwork with the Black Bulls versus Veto that I thought again just
Yeah, the teamwork in it is
emphasizes that
amazing.
This has a great, as you said, power system and great battle tactics and fights.
Yes, I'm really glad you said that, because it was one after the other, really one-upping itself as far as bouncing the characters of the Black Bulls against each other. Like, first you had Magna and Luck against Veto, and even though they lost, that was one of my favorite fights. Like, they were working their utmost, hardest, working
Yeah.
together, shooting fire and lightning at him, but, you know, Veto was stronger, sadly. But they really did their best and grew as characters over there.
Yeah, it was a great
There's a
bromance
great
fight.
broship over there.
Yeah.
And then you like had the next group come in, like the underwater dancer guy and
Oh,
the underwater
man.
singer lady, and they both had their dreams crushed by.
Yeah, well, quite literally, like what one could sing, so had the throat taken out, and then one was it dancing and had one of their limbs taken
Veto.
off or
He
something.
crippled the dancer guy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Basically crushed the vocal cords on singer lady, which was actually very sad and really made you want
That
to
was
see
like,
Veto die
wow.
a painful death.
Did it make you despair?
Ooh, that
Thank
part
you.
was a bit cringy, not gonna lie.
Thank you very much. I'm here all night.
No, not your joke. Veto's lines. So, did you despair yet? You know, because my name is Veto the Despair. Get
Yes.
it? Get it? Yeah. So, and then we got a great Noelle moment. This is the moment where Noelle evolved from typical shonen useless bimbo whammon to slightly useful bimbo shonen whammon.
Yeah.
Yes, her magic really came into its own in this arc. This is really, in terms of Noelle, this is her like actually, taking things into her own hands and kicking ass moment. So for big fans of Noelle,
It's her second biggest kicking ass moment, because unfortunately you have not read the manga. And like 10 chapters ago, she had her biggest moment by far.
no, but I said this was her first.
She does really like, mate, when she gets the armor and the dragon thing and that, like, so cool.
Like the one where
Okay, it
she
was her
actually
first big
goes
one.
from, oh, I can't control my magic because I'm so insecure, to, in order to help my friends, I will overcome, I will surpass my limits, as Yami says, and I will kick some ass.
And of course,
She
in
does.
the great words of Kakashi Sensei, which he didn't really say, but I'll be paraphrasing here, you'll have to do a lot of hand signs to make a water dragon jutsu. That's very deep, by the way, because hand signs is like mental preparation, and she literally used this massive water dragon, so I'm gonna coin that one. Nux Taku 20. Oh my god. I'm recording this in 2018, but editing this will definitely take till 2019.
Yes.
So, many hand signs to make a water dragon jutsu. Nux Taku 2019.
5 years.
Leave a like
ago,
if you
oh
cried.
my God.
Also, we got Yami's "What's up, bitches" moment.
Yeah,
where
Yami,
he's like,
Yami really shined in this one as well, and
Yeah.
you saw how much the Black Bulls actually love and appreciate him, and for good
and
reason.
how much he loves and appreciates the Black Bulls.
Exactly.
Like, he sees things are getting too rough, so he says to the sea guy, okay, I'm going in. And he's like, no, but the game is not complete. You can't break through the barrier thingy. And he's like, I could have always broken through the barrier thingy. I just wanted my boys to show you what they can do. Then
Yeah.
he just goes in and black holes the hell out of Veto.
He really has confidence in all the Black Bulls to an extent, you know, that he's like, yeah, they're endangering their lives, but this will be good for them.
Yeah,
This'll-
they'll learn
let 'em
from
do
this.
it. Let 'em do it.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
But also, like, he comes in, and then Veto's about to self-destruct and blow up everyone, and he's like, okay, guys, move out of the way. I'm about to surpass my limits. I don't know. That was amazing.
Yeah, he's
I
the
love
limit
him.
surpasser.
He's so
That's what he does.
sick.
Yes, and he knows it's possible for everyone, so if
Yeah.
the going gets rough, surpass your limits. Lesson learned.
Boom.
Precisely.
But I'm glad we left this for the end, because I really wanted this to be the high point that we finish off discussing this arc. We got the best fight in recent shonen anime as far as tactics go, with Vanessa, Finral, and Asta versus Veto. As far
So
as
sick.
superficial fights go, nothing to memory of recent years tops this.
Yeah, I loved it. It was so awesome. Like, there are 3 different types of magic working together. And the reason I love this is because, unlike in some anime where, you know, 1,000,000% friendship power smash would
Yeah.
win the day.
That has nothing to do with My Hero Academia, by the way.
No, of
That's
course.
just the proverbial 1,000,000% smash.
Yes, of course not. But unlike those other anime, in this one, it's like Asta, no matter how hard he flexes his muscles, can't do it on his own. He needs his team. He
Yeah.
needs to use strategy. Sometimes he actually gets his ass kicked. Like, that is how things go, and I really like that.
Yeah, I
And
like
they
that as
needed
well.
100% trust in each other, and the only way they won is that each of them surpassed their limits. In this case, not their physical limits, but they surpassed their mental limits. Like Finral, who never thought he could do anything, Asta fully trusted him, and he really needed to actually get his stuff together this moment. Did it. And he surpassed his limits, and they won the fight. Or at least, and then Veto got up, and then Yami, what's up, bitches, and beat the hell out of him, because Yami's a beast. But I would give this arc an 8 out of 10. personally.
I actually gave this arc an 8.5.
All right.
Ooh.
Well, I like this arc a lot, so a no complaining.
And can we just say, how awesome would it be to actually have Asta as your friend in real life? Like, he seems like the best
would be
possible
terrible.
friend. No,
I
but
would
he's like,
hate it.
he trusts people, and he's so, like, hype. Like, he would always encourage you and
Yeah.
support you. Like, I would love
He'd bring out the best in you, really, wouldn't he? Like, if you told him you want to do something, he'd be like, well, then do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll help you. Ah.
to have an Asta as a friend, man.
Okay, friend, yes. Roommate, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay, no, he would make you feel like shit that he's always working out and you're, like, eating Cheetos in bed. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, precisely. He would be the worst roommate ever. Okay, 6 a.m. Alarm rings. From the other room. No, it'd be a disaster. All right. Well, in any case, good friend, bad roommate. I can agree. We got the final arc we will be discussing today, because it's the final arc in the anime, the Witch's Forest
Oh,
arc.
okay, right.
Yeah.
Take it away.
This is actually my favorite arc so far, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Yes, because I loved how, you know, we are exploring the Witch's Forest, an interesting new realm that keeps being connected to different characters in the story. The witch herself is very interesting. We get Vanessa's backstory,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
amazing. Vanessa.
And then
best
her
hero,
grimoire gives her the cat. doesn't it?
Also,
Until
we get
Nello
Mars.
Leona.
Mars comes back, and he's developed so much as a character. It's crazy. Like, Mars is a completely
he
different
essentially
person.
became very similar to Asta in a way. Like the whole "I'm gonna make the government see my way" type thing.
Yeah, and after he had lost his memory, then he regained it, and then he kind of like slowly developed as a character, and then we got to see him actually become friends with Asta in like a way that didn't feel like too over the top. It actually felt organic because they had to fight together to save people they cared about. So yeah, I thought this was
We
a
got
great...
Ladros, who's an absolutely garbage villain, and we also got Bimbo Lady with the salamander, who's another garbage villain.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about Fauna?
Yep.
I thought the Fauna thing was interesting because of obviously what we know, how our boy...
How she interacts with Mars. See,
Yeah, our
what I
boy-
liked about her is how she developed into becoming less of a villain. But as far as villain goes, she was just like, destroy everything!
It was very generic, wasn't it?
Okay,
Yeah.
no thank you.
No, I know. Yeah, these Midnight Sun guys, when they're being controlled, are pretty, you know, one note, one dimensional. But yeah, I
Except
liked
for
how,
the third one.
I liked how Mars did, you know, interacted with Fauna, and how she also, the fact that, oh my God, she's not dead, kind of like also helped him develop as a character. There were some things that, yeah, like Ladros was a weird villain. Like, I'm okay with him, like his motivation is like, I'm just gonna use everyone to get my way. That's the only way you get about in the world. Like, there are people who really think that way, so that's cool with me. But then when he's later, like, he gets defeated and he's like, you know what, guys, you know, we're all good now, right? Everybody's good, and Asta's
And
like,
they're
yeah.
like, okay, let's hug.
That part to me was lame, I have to admit. It's like,
Yeah,
yo,
that
this
was
guy
too
just said
shonen.
he's gonna use you all. Like, you can't just be like, oh, we're all good now.
Yeah.
But the witch, the witch queen of the witches, is a very interesting character. And I think
She
that-
is.
She's my favorite villain in the arc.
Oh, you beat me to it. I was gonna say that she's my favorite villain so far in the entire show.
Okay, I'm
Wow.
with you on that. Well,
Yeah.
so far being until where we're up to the anime.
Yeah, in the first 6 arcs, correct. So she's my favorite villain. She's
Okay.
mysterious. She has some stuff hiding. I think she has a lot of potential in the future. Again, we'll see what
She
happens
has
in the
a
manga.
really cool philosophy. She's not the I want to take over the world type. She's all powerful, seemingly, but still, it's not like she wants to help anyone. She just wants things to go her way.
Yes, and she's like very, very much interesting in that sense. It's like she has this like idea of family, which is completely insane, and she has this like crazy ancient understandings of magic. She's been alive for hundreds of years. Who knows all the stuff she's hiding, all the stuff she's planning when she actually sees Asta and after the arc ends. Like, she leaves, but it's like, what is she up to? I really like that.
Yeah, and just to touch on the previous
Charlotte's
point, Licht is my
Grimoire.
favorite villain we've met so far, but you only really see why later, so I hear you.
Okay, sounds good.
But as far as this arc goes, I feel like, you know, we had Finral, we had Vanessa, we had Asta there, so they tried to do that trio magic again that worked against Veto, but due to conditions that are, well, their control, because, you know, Veto can't shoot massive bursts of fire, it did not go so well. It's not like
God,
it's
the
the
animation's
ultimate
so
formation that will defeat anyone, it just can't do that.
Yeah, which is again cool because it's, you know, you have to stay on your toes and keep switching things up.
Keep adapting. But as far as my 2 favorite points of this arc, one would be the dynamic of how they got there. Like, Asta broke his arms and they thought he would be crippled for life. So the entire
Yeah.
Black Bulls guild, without telling anything to Asta, completely split up. They went to the different ends of the earth. You
They're
have
like, "We're
Gosha
gonna
and
help
Gordon in the
Barbara out."
library researching how to cure him. Luck and Magna going to a dungeon to take on this entire dungeon by themselves to try to find some crazy ancient magic, and when they come back, it's hilarious. And you got, like, Vanessa going to the Witch Queen. She knows that she's basically sealing her life away to her,
Yeah, 'cause
but
she's
she'll
banished from
cure
home,
Asta
too.
because she
Well,
knows
no,
that he'll
it's
make...
it's like once you leave the village, you're not allowed to come back because that's where all the witches are meant to stay in it. So yeah.
something of his life, whereas she feels terrible about herself, which this arc develops, and she ends up becoming her own person.
Well, if I can comment on your first point, I actually, yeah,
Go
I
for it, go for
totally forgot about this, but yeah, I thought that was amazing. The moment when Asta's like all kind of desperate and he's like, you know, fate keeps forsaking me. I was born with no magic. All I had was my arms that I trained so
Now they
hard
got
all
taken
my
away
life,
from me as
and
well.
now I can't use my arms anymore either. I can't lift their sword. Like he gets a bit depressed, but then he's like, but look, I've been blessed with such great friends, and I was like, yes, yes.
See, that's power of friendship done right. That was a really touching moment.
Exactly. That's like,
And then it enters with Vanessa going to the Witch's Forest to save Asta, and because Asta is the type of person that she went there to save, he went there to save her!
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm a fan of Asta. A lot of people say he's very one-note, power of friendship-y, but I don't know, I feel like he's just a genuinely really good dude.
yeah, and it's interesting because, as you said, it's like the real power of friendship in the sense is friendship motivates you and emotionally it supports you, but it doesn't make you win any fight just on its own. And in Black Clover, I think they do a great job of saying,
Definitely
yeah, we're
so.
friends, but now we have to actually figure out a strategy to combine our magic to fight together effectively against these villains, not because I will it hard enough and I love my friends so much, I'm just gonna crush everyone in my way.
100%, man. Couldn't have said it better myself. But, also we got Black Meteorite.
Yeah, new move.
So this was a, you know, new form of the main character that I actually really appreciate. For the most part, new forms, unless they're foreshadowed, annoy me. Like, because the main character's pushed to the wall. There's nothing he's
And it
gonna
just
do.
comes out of
Boom! New
nowhere.
form! Hell yeah! Power of friendship, take them down. But the witch lady was explaining how, since he's the only one that has no mana, and since he's the only one that can use anti-magic, he can absorb the anti-magic and basically use it as a buff to himself. And that gave him Black Form. It was a bit stretched, but I do appreciate it
still
in
works.
all, because I feel like there's only so much Asta as a character can grow and strength. The way Vanessa's red string of fate is essentially fairy glitter that Kana used in Fairy Tail. In fact, Vanessa, and this is the reason why she's not best girl for me, Mac, I'm sorry, is basically Kana from Fairy Tail.
I don't think I've watched enough.
You know,
of Fairy
same drunkard lady, always wearing underwear.
Oh, I missed those days. The Nooks just constantly try and throw in why you should watch Fairy Tail in like every single video he would make.
Gets like this crazy OP power that she occasionally uses sometimes. Has a whole, well, daddy or mommy complex depending on which anime. I don't know, maybe that's why, for me, Vanessa's not best girl, whereas I see why she would be for you. Leona, whose name I will never pronounce right ever, is best girl in Shonen, period.
Well, so Kana is the one that's like really violent though, right? She's not only drunk,
really.
but she also fights.
Well, Vanessa also fights.
I mean, not like to that extent, I would say. Like, I watch some Fairy Tail, but obviously not as much as you. You Fairy Tail fanboy.
Yes, and I will say that with pride. I wear Fairy Tail fanboy on the back of every single jacket I wear to let everyone know the truth.
Yeah, so that's why he doesn't do a face reveal, because, you know, he doesn't want you to know that that guy with that jacket was actually Noxtaku.
It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. I worry for my life here. But hey, now we're the Black Clover fanboys on YouTube. We just dissected the first 6 arcs of Black Clover, an anime that everyone only has good things to say about.
Yeah.
Also, I'd give this arc an 8 out of 10 as well.
I will give this arc a 9 out of 10.
What?
Yeah, this was my favorite
That's
arc
pretty hype.
so far.
Damn.
So for me, my favorite arc was the Royal Capital arc, but I do love
Yeah,
this
Royal
arc.
Capital Arc was
Again,
sick.
Very much.
I thought the witch is a really cool character with a lot of potential. I don't know how they use her or if they've used her again in the manga, but I think a lot of stuff could happen with this character because she's so interesting, because she's not just one-dimensional, and because she's been around for hundreds of years. So who knows what kind of crazy ancient
She
magic
gonna
she
know
has up her
stuff.
sleeve.
Yeah.
No comment, read the manga. And that's the takeaway message from this video.
Please support the official
Official release.
Or not, and just watch our videos and stuff. But hey, support the official release too. The official release doesn't mind if you support. Yay! Okay, now with that very nice preachy message out of the way, that wasn't really preachy because I sarcasmed it. Anything else you'd like to say? Any overall thoughts?
No.
Because I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying the series so far. As I said, more than I thought I would, and I am looking forward to getting caught up on the manga and just seeing what the anime does. Yeah, really enjoying it so far.
All right. Well, in that case, thank you so much to everyone who watched until this point. Let me know in the comments if you like these dissecting arc things, because I actually have a really fun time making them, because I get to bounce my opinions off someone else, which is really
It's always nice to have a
appreciated.
person
Thanks for
to
coming,
talk
man.
to.
Oh, my
So,
pleasure.
yeah.
Always a fun time with you, Nux.
Yeah. So now we just got to look forward to every arc of Hunter x Hunter with Swag Kage, every arc of One Piece with Tekking, and every arc of the Black Clover manga with AnimeUproar whenever he decides to read it.
And also, I am 100% down for every arc of Keijo.
Ooh, good call.
So,
Keijo's one of
Hunter
those
x Hunter,
shows that
I
everyone
think I'll
wants
check
to
that
see
out.
us
I'll check
talk
all of them.
about.
I'll just check
I
them
mean,
all
I'm
out.
always down to talk about Keijo anytime.
So Swag
you guys
Kage is on the
know
Hunter
this
x Hunter,
about me.
and
The official Keijo hotline
Naruto,
brought to you
cool.
by AnimeUproar.
I am the Keijo philosopher. Thank you very much.
He calls his site Booty Calls. Alright, so with all that said, link in the description to AnimeUproar. He just uploaded a Black Clover video, if I am not mistaken.
Yes, it's there right now. Go check it out, guys.
Dope. So link in the description to AnimeUproar. Definitely send him some cringe from the hearts of the fan base to his comment section. We appreciate ya. Have yourselves the most wonderful evening. And Animac, would you like to do the not cringy outro?
Of course, Nux, thank you. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.
Cowboys.
That's not what I
his
meant. I
outro,
wanted you
yeah.
to say stay weird, fan. An actual not cringy outro.
Fine,
So,
and
Stay weird, fam.
Dope.
Takes me back. Yeah, Black Clover's sick. So, yeah, I think I'll check out the ranking Hunter x Hunter, ranking One Piece, ranking Naruto. Why not? Why not, hey? Let's get them all ticked off on the old videos that I wanted to check out at one point but wasn't able to because of the way I recorded stuff. But it's January this year, it's all changed, and I can just do anything I want. Make sure you check out my Etsy shop. The t-shirt I've designed recently, I absolutely love it. So yeah, go check that. Yes. And thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, link in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is the last channel. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. Thank you all for watching. You guys, look at that. You guys, look at this. Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments below. Let me know what I should watch in future videos. So you go, oh, I'll see you guys, all you guys, next time. Bye.